Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Miss Trina, again with Chat with Trina. You got two doses of Miss Trina and Chat with Trina today. Um, we had some date mixed up, but I thought I'm going to just do them back to back. My co-host from Speak On It is with me today, and I knew he'd understand. I knew he'd hang in here with me. We're gonna be on the phone till 9:30, 10 o'clock anyway. Why we gonna do the show late? But anyway, thank y'all for making the choice to click in. I really appreciate it. I never, ever, ever take your support for granted. And hold on a second. I'm doing things over here. I'm doing things. Never take your support for granted. Make sure that y'all roll on over there to www.youtube.com/chat with Trina. And subscribe. I need 140 more subscribers to meet my goal for this year. So help me out, y'all, and go subscribe, tell a friend, see a friend. And yes, who do I got with me today? The Louisiana Country Boy, Donnie Lewis. Hey there, hey.
How
my
you doing?
2 cents is joining me tonight.
How's you doing? I greatly appreciate you allowing me to come on your lovely chat show, Chat with Trina. It is an honor and a privilege for the country boy to be here and gracing the platform with you. You are such a famous person in this industry.
You are so silly.
And I'm so happy to be here.
Well, I am so happy. Wait a minute. Hey, hold on, y'all. Sorry. I can't multitask sometimes. I don't want that to do that. I want this to do this. Because Country Boy is real far, so I have to put us to where we're closer to the thing. Make sure that when y'all posting everything, y'all see me, y'all share some hashtag Chat with Trina, please. Go on, hashtag me. Make me a popular hashtag. Hashtag. So anyway, Donnie Lewis, the Louisiana Country Boy, from my words of 2 cents, is joining me tonight because we're going to talk about being a girl dad. All month, the full month of June, I dedicate my show to talking to amazing dads. I tell people all the time that I have a lot of male friends, and I hear women always talking about bad dads, this bad dads, that dad, bad. And I always felt so weird because my friends were all really, really good dads. I got some really good dads. My daddy is a good daddy. So then I heard Ricky Smiley on his show, and I tell this story all the time, on his show last year before Father's Day. He says, y'all, let's not have all that I'm the mama and the daddy, so it's my Father's Day too. You had Mother's Day, ma'am. Let this be Father's Day because you're taking away from the dads who are good. You're distracting from the dads who are doing what they're supposed to be doing. You had your day, Mother's Day, and if you are doing the job of the mother and the father, just wish yourself Mother's Day twice on Mother's Day. How about that? Don't take away Father's Day from the people, from the daddies. Country Boy, what's up?
What's going on? I will say that first of all, I thank you again for the invitation, for real. Especially on with the topic that you have. I thank you for saying and having me amongst some super guests that you've had. I had an opportunity to chime in on your previous guest who was just on tonight. An amazing story. I don't know how this old boy could even follow something as such. But I will, and this is Chat with Trina. So y'all be aware that anything, what that they be saying about that this is not, this is a disclaimer. Okay, this is Chat with Trina's show, but this is me running my triple trapper. Okay, so if anything offends you that comes out of my mouth, it offends you from me. It ain't got nothing to do with her. And I say that in all seriousness is because what the show is about dads, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you point blank and period, and I'm going to just say this. Any questions that you want to ask me are open because I am not and have not been a perfect father. I'm not gonna get up here and act like and this, that, and the other. Um, so if y'all want to know the real, if you want to know the transparent, if you want to know the open, honest. Now, I may offend some of y'all by what I say, but understand this coming from the Louisiana Country Boy, I don't care. Um, if I offend you, now y'all can stop watching me, but this ain't got nothing to do with her show. Um, but she has allowed me on here, and she has the button that can mute me as well. So if she can mute me. But I will be open. I will be honest. I will be transparent. I will tell you first and foremost, I ain't the perfect dad at all. I was actually listening to the show, as I told you before, outside, and something came to me. Um, and here's mine, and I'm gonna let you do your thing, Miss Trina. It came to me as this: is that I have two children. My oldest daughter, 31. My youngest is 4. I don't have a problem, an issue at all. Some people say, like, well, you treat your youngest better. Let me tell you something. From 0 to 5, and this is in all honesty, this is what God gave me. And the realness came today. From 0 to 5, this old boy is good, okay? I'm telling you, I can rock and roll. See, my transition starts to happen after the age of 5. And what dawned on me about that, because it didn't even make any sense, is because I was 5 years old when I lost my father. So I don't know anything about really truly fathering. Even with my oldest daughter, the gap between what happened with me and my oldest daughter happened around the same age. So as this thing gets real, it gets real. So if y'all want to hear some real, I'm gonna give you what they call the Dirty South.
You got all right, well, Country Boy, tell us again. I'm sure most people know, but where are you from, honey?
I'm from Louisiana.
Well, we know that. You the Louisiana Country Boy. But
That's
what
right.
part?
I am from Grambling, Louisiana. Little old town, exit 81. If y'all heading up Interstate 20, just get off on exit 81. You'll be right there at the house.
So is it towards Shreveport or is it toward the other Lafayette?
It is in between. It is in between Shreveport and Monroe.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And this here ain't no liquor, y'all. This Sprite. I just got in the red. I got in a club cook.
I guess because you know people, they gonna say, look at that, he got that red cook. He got that.
He drinking on the show.
Drinking on the show. So what is it? What does being a dad mean to you?
Being a dad.
And I'm sorry, let me back up. What Country Boy was saying earlier, that he did lose his dad at a very early age. And it's funny because I'm reading his book. I'm almost done. And so it actually, I'm glad I read it today. I mean, I have a lot of questions about it today, but we're gonna come back on some of it I will mention. But he wrote a book called Unlocking the Power Within, Reclaiming of the Seed. And so talking to dads has made me realize some things too about the trauma of not having a dad. Of course, I have not experienced that, but I have experienced divorce. And yes, I was with my dad, but now I had another divorce with my dad because my dad's married to someone else who doesn't really, appreciate us. My sister and I. So it's almost like another divorce, and it is traumatizing. And so when I read the book about the traumatic time he has, even dealing or raising his kids again, because it comes back to him that he doesn't know how. He had a stepfather, right? Mm-hmm. And he was there, but it still wasn't the same. So that's how we get here. This is where we're going to start at, Country Boy, of what does being a dad mean to you? Because you had father figures, but you did not have your daddy.
For me, honestly, being a dad is being everything that I wished I had. That's point blank, period. It's being all the things and being that I wish that I had. Even not saying that I didn't have it, but I didn't recognize what I had.
Mm.
So it's being able to be that. It's being able to truly understand that it ain't about stuff. It ain't about stuff. It's about the time. It's about the love. Um, I look at the as today is a wonderful day because I had an opportunity just earlier to have my daughter and my grandson here and just to sit with them and have dinner with them. It's there's still. I mean, how do I say this? It is so hard to repair something that has been broken. It takes years. It and sometimes it may never. Um, you may never get back, and you may never, ever, ever repair it to where it once was. And that's just though that's some of the things in life. What I know now with the difference between the two girls is that I just have to be consistent.
Mhm.
My oldest, again, I can't be anything but just be here. She's had a life. She had and I'm not talking about I just disappeared. I'm talking about what your previous guest said. And what I say a lot, I wasn't an active, involved parent. I didn't think it was one, not making excuses, but I didn't think that my role as a father was that important. I didn't think that I had what it took to be a father or to be, my thing, honest to God, I truly felt like if I wasn't there, she'd still be okay.
Mm.
I did not realize the damage that I was doing by thinking that, but that was a part of me knowing one, that I had to heal to be better.
Mhm.
And it wasn't about anything else. And I get so tired of people talking about anything and everybody else. I had to heal myself in order to be and to now to be able to accept when she's frustrated with me, to be able to accept when she's distant. But I had to heal
Mhm.
and not be, oh well, I'm your dad, as the previous guest said. You know,
And work.
this is a walk across the board. Dads, moms, parenting is a walk. It is a walk. It is a daily walk. It is a daily walk. And let me tell you what I
And it don't
know,
change when they turn 18.
love. And that's those are things that I'm going to go through with the younger one to experience. Again, I don't know those things because I wasn't around with my older one when she went through those things. I
Mhm.
wasn't there. I wasn't, I wasn't, yeah, I was a phone call away, but I didn't make it convenient for her to be able to say, I want to make that phone call. I made the distance. Um, so I know what I have to do now and what I have to do differently. Again, 0 to 5, man, I kid it. I knock it out the park. I'm telling you, y'all can't stop me. I'm a home run here. 0 to 5, I'm the best daddy in the world.
Right. So when you throughout your book, I noticed something, and it's so funny because I don't know if you've ever said it to me, but I tell you this about me: the feeling of not the feeling of not being good enough. And I noticed in your book, throughout the book, it talks about you wasn't even talking about not being. I mean, you talked about not being good with other stuff, but I noticed when it came to being a dad and even a stepdad, you thought you weren't good enough
Yeah,
to be in those roles.
yeah.
In your
Uh,
healing, have you found that you are good enough?
it's finding a place called worthy.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was. with losing my dad, I somehow made it to that I wasn't good enough for him to be there. With losing my dad, part of the things I talk about is nobody asked me how I felt about it. I wasn't worthy or good enough for somebody to ask me. Um, that's how I felt. I felt like everyone that I attempted to get close to always left. I wasn't good enough for somebody to stay. I wasn't, as a child, you growing up when losing my dad, um, you know, even after my stepdad came along, losing my stepfather passed. I wasn't good enough. Losing my uncles. Why I'm not good enough for them. Okay, God, what is it? You take everyone from around me. Am I not good enough? It's that thing when you realize that it ain't about you, baby. It ain't about you. And I had internalized that. So honestly, what I did with my older was I pushed her away because I wasn't good enough. What I did in relationships was I only to a certain point could you get because guess what? I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of you because I didn't feel worthy of myself.
So since this is in the book, I know I can ask this out loud.
What? They gotta read the book. Good. They gotta buy the book.
I ain't gonna tell everything in the book. I ain't gonna tell everything in the book. I gotta ask you. We talking about your cheering. We talking about your cheering.
Talk about my cheering.
There has been some losses of children.
Yes.
So there was a
mix. That's the other thing.
So did that make you also think?
Yeah, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't
good enough.
What about
God? What about your? The last guest I had, DJ Redeemed, he mentioned that maybe he did. Maybe that's somebody. Let me not say that he said that because he may not have. Sometimes we get mad at God and we ask God why we. Did you ever have that?
Nope. It was never a question to God. No, and I never, honestly, I never said, God, why? I just felt like I took it to them. It wasn't, and my question was, yeah, I went through losses. I went through 3 abortions. And here was the thing. The first one, even with understanding and I can't say accepting, but some people say, and it's just me. It's so comfortable again. If I piss somebody off, I'm just saying how I feel. My take. People talk about abortions and women's rights. Let me explain something. That woman just didn't get pregnant by herself. Yes, it is her body, and she has the right to choose. But at the same time, and I get real on this one. At the same time, if you choose to get rid of it, it's okay. But if you choose to keep it, you want to go down to court and charge me with child support. There's a problem in my eyes with me. I'm just saying, and I speak how I speak.
Say that again. I want to understand that. I want to understand what you.
If a woman decides that her body, she wants not to have a child, that's okay. But that same woman can say, I'm gonna keep it, but now I'm gonna put you on child support. For me, there's an issue. Both of them should be a part of me. If you decide you want to do something, let's have a conversation about it. If you decide, and for me, that's how I felt. I felt like I wasn't worthy enough for you to even consider. Am I not good enough for you to have my child? That was my feeling. And each time, and it was very, very hurtful.
I gotta pin you there.
Pin me.
I'm gonna pin you.
Pin me.
We're gonna revisit that conversation because I don't think it had, and I'm just being me, being real. I think there's a little mix up in the conversation of us talking about rights to our bodies and that. I think, and then the child support thing, I get it to a certain extent, but it doesn't match. So we're gonna stick with for today. I'm not gonna bring that topic up, but we're gonna definitely revisit because we need to break that down. I do think that men should always, the man and the woman should always have a conversation. It should be two people making that decision,
Right.
whether it's adoption, abortion, whatever it is you decide to keep in the baby. There should be a conversation and a decision made between the two. But I hadn't brought up the abortion part. I only brought up the miscarriage. You brought up the abortion, so you all up in your book that you told me you were going to. But so I get that though. I know how, to me, in my opinion, if I were in that place of the man, how devastating that would be that there was a decision made like that,
Right.
taking out child support. How that would be devastating that you didn't. And I read that in the book. You said that I didn't even have a right to make the decision with you. You made this decision. I think you said I respect the decision, but I should have had the right to help be a part of that decision.
Right. And that goes to the part of about that. It's about, for me, not my voice not being heard.
Exactly.
And that went from there. It was kind of like a snowball. It was, with my dad, nobody asking how you felt. My voice is not important. With the going through the situations of the kids, my voice not being important.
Yeah.
And that kind of just, those are things that, okay, well, if I'm not around, my voice ain't important.
Yeah. And it's where you're going with that is your daughter, what is your older daughter's name? I don't want to keep saying your daughter.
Jillian Rose.
Jillian, yeah. Jillian, you would, I hear how you would feel like, oh, she got her mom. She's a girl. She got a mom to do this, that, and other. I could see how you could think that, not realizing how
and I'll tell you a story on that. And now little, oh my God, like we was like, bam, there. And I will never forget the moment of making the conscious decision. The conscious decision, to say like, okay, well, maybe she needs her mom more than me. It was, her mom had came in, I think from work or something, and I was there. Jillian would never go to her mama. Like her mama would come get her from me, and that girl would break out crying. And I saw the look on her mom's face. And it was like, I felt like I was interfering. It may sound crazy, but I felt like, wow, that is never, and it was kind of like how I felt with my mom, because that was all I had. Like, no, I don't want to cause the separation. Here I am as a daddy. My daddy left, but what I had left was my mom. So I kind of, at that point, made gradually pulling back and pulling away, because I felt I was doing the right thing for her.
Interesting.
Yeah. This old boy be deep sometimes.
So, when did you consciously make the decision to repair the relationship so we can move forward?
Many years later, when I saw.
Before she had Malachi?
Yes. When I saw that the damage that I had done, when I look at my child and some of the things that she was going through and dealing with.
Relationships?
It was the foundation that I had laid.
Yeah.
Oh, and what a tacky foundation it was. What a toe up foundation it was. I wasn't there to show her, and that's why I say, from five on, to show her those things. Yeah, I gave her those things when she was younger, but from 5 on, when she was going through and starting school, or when she was in junior high, that I should have been there and been an important role and been a foundational role in her life. I wasn't. I didn't, because I didn't value myself as being important enough, um, because I wasn't healed. I wasn't healed. And the crazy thing about people who are hurt and people who are bleeding, we
Mm-hmm.
bleed on people who didn't even cut us.
Absolutely.
And now to look and to know, like, the blood that was on my child came from me.
Mm.
I was the pain that was inflicted, or the pain and the things that she went through in life, is because of my neglect.
Now,
Um,
when did you figure this out? I guess that's the answer to that. I hear that, but what age was this where you made this decision to go back and fix all that?
oh my goodness, she was probably,
Teenage?
no, she's probably,
Okay. You froze. You froze. You froze. You froze. You froze. You froze. So, guys, Country Boy has frozen. So he'll be back in a second. We're gonna just close him. We're gonna take him out for a minute, and we're gonna move him, let him come back. But so we are chat. This is Chat with Trina. Make sure that y'all use my hashtag when you're sharing, liking, commenting. Use my hashtag Chat with Trina. Also, is he done yet? No. Also, this full month of June, which is almost over, I am recognizing amazing dads, because we want to make sure that we recognize our dads all the time, 365, but definitely for Father's Day month. I tell everybody, I used to say the story over and over, that I would hear people father bashing over and over and over so many times. And you back?
they can't stop me. Look at here, I'm telling you right now. You can't hear me?
Stop.
You can't hear
Can't
me?
stop, won't stop, don't stop, get it, get it.
Can't stop me. I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Yeah.
The
So
truth shall set you free.
I was saying to them while you were taking a break. Uh
I'll wipe my
I was
tears.
taking a break.
I'll give me a drink.
That I wanted to use my platform to recognize amazing dads, because we do have amazing dads. We talk about mamas all the time, and we important. We are. But these daddies are important too, because y'all hear that phrase all the time. So and so got daddy issues, and yeah, so we gotta dads are important. And Country Boy just got finished saying something that I think is just so interesting. Um, when he says he thought his daughter would be fine with, she got a mama, and mamas and daughters do them mamas and daughters things. So he didn't realize the pain and the trauma that he would cause his baby girl by, backing off, thinking that he was helping create a bond with the mom and dad. Did I say that? Did I put that in some good words for you? Yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah. So what I was asking him though, before he took his break, was that how old was he? And he thinks it was after being a teenager, past the teenage years.
Oh yeah, she was probably in her early 20s.
Okay. Okay.
So, and to say that, that is when a lot of life has already happened. That is
Yeah.
when a lot of things have already been built up.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's that building back. What I learned from that is it takes time and consistency. You just be. Um, she is a wonderful, 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 wonderful woman. She's a wonderful mother. Um, the things that she's doing and reminds me of me, a lot of it. She's got a super duper personality. I don't know where she get that from. But it's just now I don't look at her as my baby.
Mm-hmm.
I look at her as this wonderful adult, still my child, this wonderful adult that I'm here for, and I support and I encourage, and that there's no judgment. That I'm not trying to be friends, but I am, as your previous guest said, the legacy that I'm leaving behind. Because let me tell you, it's never too late to start. You start from where you are and you use what you have, and you just be consistent. And with her, that's all I can do. I can't force it. I just, when we talk, we talk. We have good conversations, the things that we talk about. You know, I saw my daughter, my oldest. I was there when she was born. I was the first one to feed her. I cut the umbilical cord. Um, but let me tell you, the greatest, that is a great blessing. But the greatest blessing is a few years back to have that, after all the things that we've gone through, to have that same young lady come to me and tell me that she wanted to be baptized, and for me to be able to be the one that baptized her.
Oh, that's
Let me
really
tell
awesome.
you, to see your child born
Mm-hmm.
is one thing, but to be a part of your child being born again,
Yeah.
wow.
Yep, that's awesome. That's awesome. You said something, and I want you, and you probably understand, you probably know it, but you said she's not, I don't see her as my baby anymore. I see her as my child, my adult child. I want
Yes.
you to remember that girls, I don't know about boys, but for girls, we want to always make sure that we still hear you call us your baby. That means something to us as women. Yes, we want to be one when we want to be grown, but we do want our daddy to still see us as his baby. And I'm saying that from a girl dad. So you'll know that. Take that with you. Yes, I know what you mean, but we always want to know that was daddy's baby. I don't care if we
Well,
95 years.
well,
I'm 53. I'm daddy's baby. I want to make sure
that's
when
my
people
firstborn.
not because people stopping that, but
Yeah,
but I
that's
want
my firstborn. So
I mean, but
that's
I'm just saying, be careful of making this. I hear you making the statement publicly, and I'm just saying, I understand what you mean, and we all understand what you mean, but just know that from a girl dad, we want to hear you say just the opposite. To be honest with you, that's still my baby. Yeah, I'm your child, but I want to be your baby. So because it's something that means something from our dad. You know what I'm saying? It just means something. So the baby girl, the 4 or 5 year old now. We 5 yet? We just
four.
turned 4.
Just turned
4 year
four.
old. She's just tall. She's very tall. Um, what did it mean to you when you found out you were having Patricia?
Father Abraham.
Father who?
Abraham.
Okay.
Father Abraham in the Bible, he was old as dirt, and God gave him the
A baby
seed.
girl.
Yeah. It what it meant to me, honestly, it was revisiting. It was the full circle coming back around.
Mhm.
It was the opportunity to now know all the lessons that this life had given me, and
Mhm.
this life saying, okay, what have you learned?
Yeah.
How will you handle it? How will you now? I say a lot of times is this: we often talk about things, forgiveness, loving, um, all these things we talk about. You don't know anything about it until you come face to face with it. You can say a lot of stuff about forgiveness. You can say a lot of stuff about, oh, I'm past that. You don't know that until you come face to face with it. And to come face to face with another child, knowing all the obstacles that
But
had
not at
happened
one
before.
point you didn't have any like excitement or joy.
Now, like, honestly, you want the honest? Oh, this
I want
is
honest,
oh,
transparent.
this is transparent, isn't it? Now, this old boy done opened his old triple trap and say he's gonna be
Open your triple
transparent.
trapper. Tell me, talk to me.
The facts were this. I was actually nervous. I was actually afraid. I was actually during the pregnancy. I didn't even want to, like, I wasn't that, oh, let me rub the stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, let
Yeah.
me, I wasn't doing any of that. Because my honest feelings, my honest thoughts was I was going to taint this baby. I was going to, because
You wasn't
I
good enough.
felt I wasn't good enough. I felt like I wasn't sitting there going, ooh, let me read, none of that. Because again, I felt like I'm not there. I'm
Oh, you
not.
hadn't got to any of the healing by now?
It had got there, but again, until you come face to face with it,
Uh-huh.
that was coming like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, am I there? Like, God, ooh, I ain't finna admit, ooh, and that was my ooh.
Mm.
Um, and here's the other part. I had just come out of losing children before, okay?
Right.
You have to remember that all this is the real. All this plays a part in it. I had just lost children in between my oldest, okay? I had
Right.
just lost 4 children in between
Mm-hmm.
via abortion or miscarriage. So here's this fear. Do I sit here and because I've lost my mom, I done lost my dad, I done lost my stepdad, I done lost uncles, I done lost aunts, I done lost cousins, I done lost my nephew. Okay. I don't know if I sit here, will it be on me? Because I don't know if I can handle that.
You don't know if you can handle what? If you lost
If
another.
right,
Okay.
if I don't know if I sit here and become connected or so
Right.
connected to this unborn, even though she's a life, but she's unborn. If I become so connected and forget,
Mm-hmm.
and something happens.
Right. Almost like the last guest. He lost 2 sons. And so when baby girl came along, it was like, I don't know. You love somebody so much, and to lose them, but then to have another one is like, I'm scared to love somebody, love a child, because it's nothing like a love of a child.
Right.
And I felt that when he said it. I feel what you're saying, that to know how much you love something and then you lose it, to have an opportunity for them to come back, and somebody regular mind would say, oh yeah, but that's an opportunity for you to do it again. But it's also me thinking about, I don't know how I would handle it if I loved somebody again that much, to lose them to death.
And let me tell you this, and this is all real.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do any of that stuff prior to.
Mm-hmm.
But when Patricia Ann, the 2 things that I did prior to Patricia Ann being born, before, I had already talked to my pastor and I said, hey, we're supposed to be going in this day. I want you to come to the hospital and I want you to pray for us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, it happened all of a sudden, so I called him on the phone. In the delivery room, he prayed for Mary, my ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
and Patricia Ann before she was born.
Yeah.
When she was born, she was a little bit underweight, so
Mm-hmm.
she was in the NICU,
Okay.
and I went in there and I sat in an old rocking chair like this one, and I held her and I sang to her.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, what I said to God was, I return her to you.
Mm-hmm.
I give her to you. And I thank you for allowing us to watch over your gift. So I don't take her as mine.
Mm-hmm.
So that thing about, oh, she's my baby. No, she's his baby, but she's the gift that he has allowed us to watch over. So it may sound crazy, but what that does is I'm not taking him out of the equation. I know that at any point that he can say, I want my gift back.
Yeah.
But what I want you to do is do everything that you can to protect, to guide, to teach, and watch over my gift and to pour into my gift to you while she's here. So for me, it's a whole different perspective of it. It's a whole, that's why I can love her. That's why I love unconditionally, because she's not mine.
But let's be on the real. Let's be on the real. I get the scripture. I get the the Lord. I love you too. I love you know how we do. But let's get on the real. I mean, we can say that all day long that we gave our kid back, like on the real. I hear you talk about your baby. I hear you talking about this beautiful baby. I see you with them.
Yes.
What? So that's your baby. What is it really like? What does it really feel like to be a girl dad? In layman's terms, just regular, everyday. What does it feel like to be a girl dad? What does it mean to you?
It means to lay a foundation. What it means to me is to walk it. What it means to me is every day. What it means to me is to show her what unconditional love is. What it means to me is, let me tell you, and you and I talk about this, what it means to me is when that little girl comes and anybody may see her and she gonna be like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you look at this? What it means to me is the foundation that God has allowed me to lay for her to know that she has the freedom. I go to the daycare.
We feel and God gave that to you and everything. But don't lie and say we ain't gonna go fight them like when the woman didn't speak back when she said, hey.
Don't be acting like that. I'll Louisiana go off.
Okay, let's keep it all.
No, I don't Louisiana go. But I love the I don't restrict her from being who she is. Yeah. And that is my duty, is to watch over. My duty is to give her that freedom to express herself. Let me tell you, she sit right here and having fun. We talk to the whole. She be having parties over here, y'all. My child have parties. She have parties over here.
Yes.
But it is to be able to be that, to be able to set that foundation, to be able to leave that legacy behind, where my girls can look and say, that's my daddy.
That, and how do you feel about knowing that you're the first man that they ever loved? And so you're supposed to be setting that example of how a man is supposed to treat them. How about that?
And like I said, I see it from two different sides. Mm-hmm. I've got both sides to see it from. And that's the thing is again, being able to go back and have the opportunity that most don't get is a do-over.
Yep, that part.
So that's why I tell anybody, don't waste the chance. Don't waste the opportunity. God blessed me with a second.
Yeah.
May not bless everybody with a second chance. Mm-hmm. So don't waste it. I mean, because I can't say, well, man, he gonna give me a third chance. I ain't gonna even take that chance. I ain't even finna risk that one right there. I ain't that country.
When you would not touch we're going backwards a little bit. When you didn't want to touch the stomach, when you want to read to the baby, when she was being, I can't even think of the word that you would say, when she was being baked in the oven. So that's the best way I can think of. What happened from that point to when you were so excited the day that she was born, to where you were in the rocking chair and rocking her? What changed from being a little skeptical, a little anxious, to rocking her in the chair and getting her prayed for, giving her back to God?
I think it was because now she's here. My ex that had the miscarriage. Mm-hmm. One of her ways of getting past it, through it, mm-hmm. Or dealing with it, was saying, Well, the baby was never really here.
Interesting. Hmm.
Um,
I could see that.
and so it was that it was the yes, there's
So she
still
just kind of
lives.
fixated it to where it really wasn't a baby. So I didn't
Right,
really lose the baby.
right,
Hmm.
right.
Did she go to therapy?
Don't know.
Okay. Y'all, this is not no shade to that. I'm just he was whispering. I was like, okay, I'm gonna whisper back. You don't know. Okay. So, I wonder that sometimes. Well, I mean, I don't want to, I've heard it on other, on talk shows and read it to where some that miscarriage is sometimes a couple can miscarriage and just losing a child in general, people can't come back from that.
It's
And
hard. It's
hard.
I can speak. It's very, very, very difficult.
Hmm.
Um, and with my ex, I think that there was even some blame on my part.
Yeah.
And
Did you ever blame
then
any her? Did you see any do any blaming?
uh, I didn't. I mean, I blame myself for not being there or not, just those things. But
Hmm.
there wasn't any, timing.
Yeah.
And I'm always spiritual. God's timing.
Yeah.
Even to this day, um, I know it was our child would have been born May 5th. Here's let me give you this. This is so
Hmm.
about that. Our child would have been born May 5th. Her mom actually passed away May 5th.
Wow.
Um, so I know every single moment. This may sound, but I know every single moment, all of those, each one of those children. It's like it's there in my mind that I know the moment. I
Hmm.
know, I I know the exact conception moment. It's those things that it's like wow. Um, it's and I don't know how it is with women. I don't know. I don't know if that's something that women get past and act like, well, it never happened. Again, that's from I can speak for myself. I can't speak for all men. I can speak for myself. Is knowing that like there's not in all honesty, every morning I pray. I pray for my children every morning by name. Every morning I pray for my exes. Every morning. Every morning, I pray for the women who lost the babies. Because if it's still there for me, I just pray that for their strength. Because I don't know what may happen. Maybe one day it pops up in their mind. I don't know. But I know if it pops up in mine, I still pray for them and for their strength and for their courage
Yeah.
each and every day.
And I'm sure, just like uh, my um, guest before you said that a loss of a child, whether he was actually born or not, they were born or not, the loss of a child is something I don't ever want to experience, to be honest with you. But it's nothing like that. So of course they probably think about their kid, those babies daily. But I appreciate the fact that you still think of it and that you still pray for them. That's because that's big. If it comes up in your mind, it definitely comes up in theirs. So after Patricia was born, and you take Patricia home,
Hmm.
when does this healing? I'm trying to get to the point of where you became, or are you saying you're not healed yet from the in regards to being a dad and
No, with being a father, I mean, I the process had already begun with
Mhm,
being a dad,
mhm,
but a lot of it after she was born. and still the time and knowing and being there. You know, her and I, from the time she was born, we've been rolling deep. Okay, I don't know if y'all
Y'all
know.
be rolling deep. Y'all be
We've
rolling
been
deep.
rolling deep for the last 4 years. We used to make videos sitting out in the garage, me and her. We've been rolling deep. We used to sit in the garage and listen to music and dance. She was little.
Aw.
So we have been the bond. Now there was a fear, and I had a talk with my cousin about it. There was a fear, like, okay, well, if something happens, she'll forget. And
Just have to ask you that. Go ahead.
my cousin said, "Boy, let me tell you something. What you have established, it ain't going nowhere." And there was that for that moment, like there will be this, you know, even going through the separation
Mm-hmm.
was very difficult because I had never, ever been away from her. So those months that we were apart, that I saw her, but I didn't get to take her with me.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard,
Yeah.
you know, and that very moment when I had the opportunity and had the judge signed off on the papers, like you can have your baby for the weekend, and I went to go pick her up. Let me tell y'all something. Children grow so fast, and I know this because the last time I had taken my baby when we were together and I'd taken her to daycare, I had the car seat, and you know, it was turned backwards like they do little babies. Well, when I got them on papers that I could go get my baby from daycare, I went to pick her up and I'm all excited. You know, and it's funny, like I say, every day I was going to go visit her. I was picking up, holding her, but I didn't realize how much she was growing. Well, I picked her up and we was going out to the car and and I tried to put her in that car seat that was turned backwards. And my baby's knees was up like this. I said, oh my God.
Oh, poor baby.
I said, oops. And it was true that she had grown so much in that short amount of time that I had to turn the car seat around. And it was almost a tear to my eye because I felt like I had, in this amount of time, how much I had missed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And that's the thing too I want to bring up, you know, about dads being present. You and I had this discussion before about let's talk to dads about it's not about the money. You know, I've have a relative whose dad would say, "Well, I can't come because I don't have a gift to bring. I don't have any money," and we wanted to express to him that it's not about that. Ain't what she gonna remember. I mean, unless she's some bratty kid, but that's not what she's gonna remember that you was there.
Been there, done that one too. I with Jillian when she was, you know, I thought that it was, well, I ain't gonna be able to do this or I can't be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it wasn't about that. They don't care nothing about that. You know, so I tell people now, for real, you do two things. Can you remember what you got for your 13th birthday? But do you remember how you felt for your 13th birthday? By the presence of your parents or your mother or what you remember how you felt? You don't know what that gift was. I don't know what I got. But you do remember that feeling of love, that feeling of comfort. That's what we remember. Those are important. Money can't buy that. Money can't buy that.
But that's what they remember. Were you there? Oh, my mom and daddy was there. Oh, my mom and daddy was there. Oh, my mom was there. I remember when I had kids, my daddy came over every Christmas morning. Now we grown in our own houses. But you know where he was on Christmas morning? At me and my sister's house. He was gonna stop by each house to watch the kids open their gifts.
Yeah, I still do that. I do that with, you know, and that's the one thing I would say with Jillian's mom, my first ex, is that even though, you know, I was, you know, not that good of a person, she always made when I say, you know, when I say good of a person, wasn't that I wasn't that show up. I was that daddy, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
no, can't make it this weekend. Oh, no, can't make it this week. That was me. Oh, I don't have money to do. Oh, so I ain't gonna.
Right.
And what I did was I left my baby hanging when all she wanted was me, you
Yeah.
know. And but her mom and her grandma always made sure Christmas I was always welcome to be there for them to open up their gifts. Always welcome to be there.
Awesome.
Um, you know, still to this day, I always welcome, hey, come over Christmas morning, watch them open their gifts. We've had the blessed opportunity is when I've had Patricia Ann with me, is that I've had the opportunity to have my two girls together for Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah.
So I love it. I love this opportunity to have the older. And now, you know, like I said, my older one, 31, the youngest one, 4. Hey, they got to watch out for each other now. Now I be counting the ages like, ooh, baby.
So my last guest brought up that he didn't realize the the craziness of he's never as a man, men always dating women with children. All the time. Ain't no, you know, most men don't care. They'll date a woman with children. But on his side, he's noticed that women have been like, I ain't interested. You got children, I ain't interested. Or you got a 4 or 5-year-old, I ain't interested. Have you had that happen to you?
No, I ain't had that problem. One is this is anybody that knows me, you know how women be, they already know I'm a package deal. And you know,
No, and they no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I said
you know, it ain't no, there is no, the executive producer has to go because that's just, you know, I can't go without that. And that's just it. That is where I am. And, you know, I'm not here looking out there. My thing is one, and I'll talk about this. I don't want no woman, again, y'all, this country boy talking. Okay,
Why you don't just say it?
this
You don't
ain't
have to
got nothing to do. This ain't got nothing to do with Chad with Trina
This
show.
is chat with Trina. Go on and say what you got to say. We're not giving no more disclaimers. Come on with it.
I ain't got any woman that wants to be around me and my child, but don't want to be around their own. There's a flag for this old boy right here.
You are really traumatized with that. Somebody in your life must have, because you say that all the time, and I never hear anybody talk about that because that doesn't happen. I don't know many women that happen to. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. But you talk about that a lot. Did somebody come in your life that traumatized you with that? Because I don't hear that often.
But I'm just saying, you know, there are some. I'm just saying, but there are some women that will.
There are plenty men.
Well, I'm sure that they are.
At all.
And then she got to be, you know, I got to see the a woman doesn't have to have children to be a nurturer.
No, they don't.
So, and I have to see the nurturing side of a woman.
But if my child, and I guess it just depends on the situation because you're kind of saying it as a whole. So if you're saying if she's never with her children, because I mean the children could have something to do that weekend, she decided to be with you and yours. But my thing is more than that. You looking over there at her and what she not doing with her kids, and she over here with you. Is she doing? Are the women doing your kids right? You know. And I hear you say that thing about that package deal. So I want to speak on that. I think me and you have talked about imposters, people bringing their representative to the table. And because, you know, I'm a product of having a stepmom who, you know, don't really appreciate the relationship that me and my sister had with our dad. So we don't get to have that relationship like we've had, you know, in the past. We grew up living with our dad. But my dad was like you. It's a package deal. If you don't do my kids, you can't be here. He done made women leave his house. However, somebody got in there. So I guess I said, just like I've told, and I said this to you before. I say this to you all the time. You know, the women that come around your kids, people always giving women a hard time about, don't bring this person around your child. Don't bring a man around your child. But men, you know, y'all can be a little, can I say it, stuck on stupid sometimes, and y'all won't see the flag. You as my friend, and I say this to you, not watch who you bring your own kids, watch who coming there trying to get you, still watch us at the side eye of how they're treating your children. How they're are they trying to be are they trying to be, but I'm not talking about the regular watching. I'm talking about really paying attention. Are they trying to come in between? Are they saying, can you leave her back? Or why you got, are they coming in between real slowly and slick in between? So you gotta with the side eye, you gotta really be watching, because you know we got one that slid in.
Well, see, let me tell you, that right there, I can guarantee you take that into the mind. You can you can dip yourself in some grease. You ain't sliding up in there. That right there ain't even happening.
Exactly.
You can oil yourself down, but there will never ever be the oh no. And you know, that's just how for me.
Yeah.
That's just how, because again, I am the one who has to lay this foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to allow my daughters to see, oh, well, somebody could just come in. You know, repeat, I've had the opportunity. I know what it's like. I know what it was like, and I have the opportunity to say, I see the mistakes I made. Wow. Now, are you going to correct them? Yes, I am. I don't care what. Let me tell you something. If it's ooh, can we go do something? Ooh, I got my baby. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is my child, just like I would think anyone, is the number one priority.
Yes.
That is my priority. Mm-hmm. That is my number one priority, is to make sure she is taken care of, not dropped off over here because I want to go spend. I ain't finna have that. That ain't even.
Especially when you don't have your child every single day,
right?
And you have that great time that you do.
That leaf on that tree ain't gonna even shake. Mm-hmm.
I love that. So let me ask you this: you know how they have prenups?
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been thinking a lot lately about. Let me see how I was gonna say that. Having some type of, so when you get older, and you know you may get sick, or God forbid, you know, anything happens to you. Mm-hmm. Will you put something in place if you get married again to make sure that your children are either taken care of, or your
what I got in place?
They have rights to. They have
that's
rights.
That's already done.
And they have rights to, when you're sick, that they have some type of say so in your health care. You know,
already done. And that was. You know, and I will say this is on that behalf. Mm-hmm. We as African Americans don't put enough forethought into those things. You know, it was always like, oh, that's just. Let me tell you something. Those are things that really, really happen. These things really go on. You really do get sick. You really can get in an accident. Something really can happen. If you have not set things up for your children, if you have not set things up, all you're doing is causing them to fail. All you're doing is causing them to go in a deeper.
Let's take that one step further, because we're talking about dads and children and mothers and sisters and stuff. I'm saying, if you get married, I really don't think people think about that part. That, you know, you might gotta get a wife she ain't the smartest bean in the bunch. But you know your child, you know Jillian, you know she's smart, you know she loves you, she knows she's gonna do everything she can to make sure you're taken care of. She's gonna get you the best care. Would you consider doing something like that, putting something in writing to make sure that she has some say so in your health care, if God forbid you became to where you can't? I'm not saying she overrides your wife, and I'm only asking that because it's something that's on my mind. And
I understand. You know, and here's what I would say, and I agree with what you're saying. and this may, and this is just me, no
Mm-hmm.
principal speaking, is those things, one, with even with that, what you said about even about your dad,
Mm-hmm.
is that I don't care who it is. Like, unfortunately that he and some men do allow that, but that's not how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't care what age or what it is. Our children are our children. I don't care if it was the Queen Elizabeth that came in and say, I'm going to take you to the royal palace. But
Mm-hmm.
well, if you're going, this is what you're going to have to leave behind. Well, then you know what I'm going to tell the Queen? You're going to have to leave me behind. Because guess what? I'm not finna go to the palace with you and leave the best part of me behind.
We'll be behind, exactly. I get that.
Um, that is for men to stand up. Men, yeah, oh, I see her, but I'm gonna tell you, and I put this on there. Ain't no her out there that's good enough for me to ever leave my children.
My children. And
Not no
the her that would ask you.
the her that would ask. No, that's the thing. Her ain't gonna never ask me. If her ask me, she gonna be you. What's them thing? A megaphone from across the road. That's how her gonna ask me, cause her ain't gonna never get that close to ask me. See,
And the thing about it is, my dad is a good dad. My dad loves his children, but my dad has gotten older, and so some of the things that are done, manipulation. Let's use manipulate. That's the word, manipulation. As you get older, you ain't you ain't thinking like they did. First of all, you don't have time for the drama. You don't want to see the arguing back and forth. So you just kind of throw your hands up at what's going on. And I'm just saying that sometimes, and I don't know if anyone else has ever, I'm sure someone else has thought about this, but I'm just sitting here thinking to myself as we're talking that, wow, wouldn't it be cool to have some type of a prenup type thing to make sure that your children have the right to have some type of say in your health care should you get into a position to where you dementia.
well, I mean, that's when you.
Those
And
are
I don't
things
know. I mean, I would think that that's when everyone.
comes together. But
Right,
I
right.
understand you. We talk about a perfect world. I'm just asking. But maybe I should just say this: do you think there'll be anything wrong with it? Because yeah, in a perfect world, yeah, everybody gonna come together. But if you let an imposter in, and she's not letting the kids say anything because she's the wife, there needs to be some protection there. And that's all I'm saying. I may be getting a little bit personal because that's what I deal with. But it's the truth. I mean, it can happen to you. You could try your best not to have. Like I said, my daddy would put people out of his house. No, you're gonna. But as he got older, I don't know what kind of tricks she did. I don't know. So somebody told me that one time. Say, well, you don't have a secret, so. But whatever. Yes, I went there. But we getting
You
close to
did.
wrapping up. But tell me, give what advice would you give to a new dad?
Allow your children to be themselves. Love
Love
them
that.
unconditionally and let them grow into whom they are going to be, and support them.
Yeah, love that.
Support them. Sometimes we try to live vicariously through our kids and we want them to be things that we didn't live up to being. Just allow them to be who they want to be.
Yeah.
Support them. Our jobs are very, very simple. We are to lay the foundation for them. We are to be there and to guide them. We just like, if anybody goes bowling and when you don't really know how to bowl, they put up the bumpers.
Mm-hmm.
What we are for our children is that bumper.
Yeah.
God has already put the pins down there. And the kids, our children, are the bowling ball. And we're just that bumper. And what we need to do is we just keep them in line with where they're supposed to be going. Don't try to force them over there. Just keep them in line. Yeah. See, the thing about that bowling ball and them bumpers, sometimes that ball does curve off. But that bumper don't get mad. It just lets it hits it, and rolls
Oh,
it
I
back
get
to
mad
you.
at my kids, so y'all out there, y'all know children, they piss you off sometimes. Because they get old and start what they say, they start smelling themselves, they get grown, they don't need you, they don't need, but I would
Well,
say they act as though they don't need you. But my biggest joy, country boys, when my daughters do call and they got one of the questions, I'll be like, yes, mama, go ahead on this.
and that's and that is a great thing. I'll tell you this little story, and I'm gonna let you go.
Uh-huh.
When Jillian was in school, she often reminds me of this story
Uh-huh.
that something had happened. She got in trouble or something. She had done something, and her mom had gotten just ooh and was screaming and yelling. And me and her mom wasn't together,
Mm-hmm.
and her mom called me over to have a talk with her, and that's what I did. I didn't scream. I didn't yell.
Dads have that thing.
I just had a conversation with her. Um, And she said that had the biggest impact is because she felt like I had let her down and that she had disappointed me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that I just, for years, I guess for my whole life, my conversation has been the same thing and my talks have been the same thing. Do know it is your life and the decisions that you make and the choices you make will follow you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I left it. And I think people glean more from that than yelling and screaming. My mom used to yell and scream. It didn't. It
And
didn't.
then and mamas tend to do that, and that's why we've been tending on these dads. Because my kid's dad, that's what he do. He talk, and he ain't gonna talk too much, but he gonna talk, and they gonna listen. My daddy I bust out crying, and my daddy just having a whole conversation with me, and I'm just gonna bust out crying. Like dads have that, and that goes back to why dads, you need to be a part of your sons and your daughter's lives, because you have such an impact on that. And then just like
Yeah,
when we talk about them looking for a mate, they're gonna look for a mate more than likely that's gonna talk to them like you do, versus
and
screaming,
that's
hollering, and ready to fight.
and that's what I do with Patricia Ann. We ain't no yelling, ain't no screaming. We will have a conversation. You want to do this? Well, why you think that's a good idea to do? What's going to be the benefit of doing that? Or why did you do that? And I'm not finna sit here. I ain't finna. No, Lord, I got too many other things I could stretch and have a whole. Not about. Yeah, that ain't gonna be one.
Yeah, daddy's. I don't know too many anyway. I know my dad. He ain't finna yell too much, and Dietrich, my kids, that he. I don't know. It's just the presence of my daddy or the presence of their dad is enough. And again, you don't. I'm a big baby when it comes to disappointing people. I never wanted to disappoint my parents. I just wanted my parents to be proud. And I think what you just said is so true, and that part about missing a dad, missing out of the life of a child. I think that's the thing too, that they start thinking, how you say not good enough. They think I didn't make
Yes,
my dad
it's
proud enough, or I didn't
that
do enough
is
for my dad to want to be
want to
around
be
me.
here. Yes, that is
Yeah.
that cycle.
Yes, it's
That's
that
the
cycle.
cycle. That's the
And so,
cycle.
dads out there, you are so important. You are so important. And I've heard it twice tonight that, you think that it's okay for them to be with the mama, but and just go on, they don't really need you. They need you so much. They need you for the foundation of what they're looking for in a mate
Yes.
eventually. Um, they need you just to, there's something missing. Country Boy and I have talked about this too. Sometimes there becomes a hole in their life that's missing.
Mhm.
You know, it's a missing piece, a missing puzzle to your life when that missing person is there. And yes, it can be moms too, but tonight we're talking about dads. Um, so yeah, Country Boy, thank you for sharing your story, talking about being a girl dad. How's it feel to be a girl dad?
I don't
Same
know.
as it feel if you was a boy dad.
I guess it. I got two stepsons, so three
Yeah. Oh,
stepsons.
that's right. You got your stepsons.
Yeah, I got
And
them.
that's another thing I'm gonna ask before we get off because we over time. But you said that you didn't feel good about being a stepdad. The wonderful thing about a stepdad or a bonus dad is that you choose, that you're chosen. Just like a person that's been adopted, they were chosen. And so for you to decide to marry someone with those kids on the opposite side, those kids that you've come into their life, that's what they see. That, oh, he's taking time out with me. He's doing this with me. I also appreciate in the book, and you've also said to me in person that you want to have the respect of the dad to let them know that you weren't trying to take their place. You're just trying to be there.
Yes.
As a father figure, the coach, you mentioned the coach, coaching type of mentor in your book. So yeah, the stepdad, stepmom, it's and that is an important role.
Yes.
Being a mentor to someone who's young and up and growing, all of those are roles that I think people should take more seriously. Um, I think dads are amazing. I think dads don't understand how important they are. I don't think dads understand that so many women wouldn't be who they are, the women they are, as strong as they are. Again, not taking anything away from moms. We just focus on dads tonight though, because of them and who they are. You know what I mean?
I will.
First man you ever loved.
I will say this, and um, I'm gonna give you my little scripture before I shut my
Mhm.
mouth.
Go ahead.
There's a story in the Bible about a man who took his son up to a mountain, and God told him to go and to take his son to sacrifice his only son.
Right.
Um, and he walked up, and as they were walking, he looked up at his dad and he said, "Where's the sacrifice?" And the dad says, "God will provide." I was reading something and it became quite interesting. A lot of people look at that and they think that this was a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't. That young man was probably in his 20s.
Mm.
So it wasn't a little boy. So at any moment, at any point that he didn't want to lay there, he could have gotten up.
Mm.
The reason he didn't is because he trusted
His dad.
his dad.
Wow. Now I knew that story. I knew what story what you was going to, but I did not know the age. And yes, I would definitely. I have always thought he was a little boy, like a teenager. Interesting. Okay. Okay. And just like his dad trusted God,
There you go.
you know.
There
Well,
it is.
y'all, this is our this is us talking about dads and recognizing dads and recognizing the importance of dads. And as I say, I have Julie didn't know you had a book. Miss Julie didn't know you had a book. And she want to know when and where she can get her book. Miss Julie, he gonna take care of you. It's
Amazon.
called
You can get it online.
Unlocking the Power Within, Reclaiming of the Seed, My Worthless 2 Cents. You can get it on Amazon. Oh, look at y'all, look at Donnie when he was young. Look at Donnie there. Um, it's a really good book though. So I will say it's a good book and it's a very easy, quick read. I read it today and I think I got another chapter or two to read. Wait a minute, who did I missed what was that? Oh, y'all look. I didn't see this because I ain't made it to the back of the book. The girl dad. Those are his 2 baby girls. Aw. So I have one more guest that I'm hoping can come on tomorrow, and that'll be the end of my recognizing amazing dads month of June. But let's continue to recognize every month. Let's tell our dads we love them, and moms, let's embrace those dads who are doing the right thing. Don't give them such a hard time when they are doing things, because there's some out here ain't doing jack. So let's recognize, let's embrace the ones, whether it's your friends, your I don't know, your friends, your boyfriends, your whatever. Embrace them and let them know how thankful you are to have them, and thankful that they are present. Thank you that they are doing whatever it is that they can to be a part of your kid's life. Because they don't have to. They can run away. They can run away and say, I don't have the money, so I don't want to be around my kid to see me with no money. Encourage them, talk to them and say, hey, they love you and they need you here, and they don't need your money. They just need you here to be at the birthday party and to be come through there on Christmas, you know? So, and dads, I'm gonna say something to you. Have the cat eye. When you dating and you got children, have the cat eye. Don't let them imposters come up in there. You need to be watching for more reasons than the one I'm talking about. All right. We are hard on women that we see on the news because something's happened to their kids or whatever. We blame them. They always bringing men through the house. Me and y'all bring these women through here too. It's just not talked about as much. So let's put some responsibility on you guys too to make sure that these women that you're bringing in and through here, that before you go marry them, you make sure that they like your children. And I'm gonna work on this. That idea just came to me as we were talking about this prenup thing. I'm finna work. I'm finna do something. I can't do it in my life, in my situation now, but I think that's a wonderful idea, country boy. I don't care what you think on that one. I think that is a hell of an idea for us to go ahead and make arrangements. So if something happens, because you with so-and-so and I have no rights, I don't want your money. I just want to be a part of making sure that you have the best health care that you can have. Whatever. Thank y'all for making the choice tonight. Thank you for those of you that watched both shows. I came on back. It's the first time I think I've done back to back. I am tired. I'm exhausted, but I'm gonna go over here and eat my roast. Can't have no alcohol this because I'm having a little procedure on Monday. I'll talk about that later, so I can ask y'all for some prayers. But my roast is ready. I went and got me some yams from Yo Mama Soul Food. And I'm making me some greens out the can. I'm gonna hook them up and make some greens, and I'm gonna have a good meal before I go to bed. Country boy, as always, I appreciate you. I appreciate who you are. I'm so excited to have you as not only my friend but my co-host, my new sidekick. Country boy be rolling now. Like, I'm so proud of him. He be rolling. He be rolling now. He be just dragging. I got me a road dog now. But anyway, y'all, thank you. Make sure y'all go to youtube.com/chat with Trina. Subscribe, and then make sure you hit that little bell to make sure that you get notified for every video that I upload. Country boy,
we out. Thank you so much for allowing me to grace your platform. I greatly appreciate it. I thank you. If I can say this, dads, fathers, men, let's just step up and do the things that we need to do. I speak from a person who's been on both sides, honestly. I'm not saying it because I'm so good. I have been that one who was a missing father. I have been that one who didn't do the things I needed to. But what we can do, honest to God, start where you are and use what you got. Our children need us. They need us. Our children need us. We are important. We are important. So, if that means, look here, if mama say you can't see the baby, go up to the school, go up to the daycare, stand outside. She can't stop you. As long as you ain't taking the child, she can't stop you, okay? I'm going to tell y'all this from the courts. She can't stop you. If you're the daddy, go to the daycare. You can go hold your baby all day. Ain't nothing she could do. You can go to the school all day. Ain't nothing she could do. Take it from the old country boy. I'm speaking facts.
Take it from him. Now I'm gonna say one more thing. I know I said that we want you more than we want your money, but please, if you are out here rolling around in your Mercedes and you're buying stuff, Don't be rolling up to my baby daycare and we ain't had no, you know. So I want to make sure that we clear. I don't know about those that can't give right now because they working on a journey or they working on a job. And so I had to add that. That was so petty, but I had to add it. Okay, so good night, y'all. Have a great weekend. Is it close to the weekend? What's today?
It is. Today is Wednesday, and Country Boy's birthday is Sunday.
Oh, that's it, y'all. Sunday is Country Boy, the Louisiana Country Boy, Donnie Lewis. It is his birthday Sunday. I don't know what we gonna do yet, but I think me and Patricia ain't gotta find something to do. Is Julian gonna do something with you too?
I don't know, but Country Boy gonna do something.
I'm gonna make you some Kool-Aid. The old school Kool-Aid, the black cherry and the lemonade. And put it in a glass that you get liquor out of. I'm gonna pour
mason jar. That's called a mason jar.
No, not that. No. It's called a rock glass that they have in the club where you put your liquor in. I'm gonna pour it in now. But anyway, y'all, Country Boy birthday is on Sunday, so I hope everybody wishes him a happy birthday on that day. You going to church on Sunday?
I am.
Which church you going to? You going to your church?
I'm going just right around the corner here.
Your church. Okay. All right.
I am. It's gonna be a hallelujah. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. 58, y'all. Oh boy, 58. Gonna be 58.
58. Well, all right, Country Boy. We ready to party hardy for your birthday. We ready.
Y'all bring it.
We gonna bring it.
Y'all bring it.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.